Michigan fans, welcome to the Bryce Underwood experience. Feels good, right? Feels good. Nice little win to get rolling against New Mexico. Is it all that it's going to be? You'd like to think not. Guy's first start in college football, you'd like to think there's a lot of runway for him. I think there is. I think we all know that. But what do we take away? What are some early thoughts, some takeaways from Bryce Underwood's first start playing college football? And we'll just kind of talk some ball here, you and me, right now on this show, The Hard Count. But if you've been dialed in here, you already know what it is, man. College football year round. If you're a Michigan fan, make sure you are subscribed. Have a feeling now we'll be talking about Bryce Underwood a good amount the rest of this college football season, as well as your Wolverines. Our very own Caden Smith picked them to make the playoff, and you better believe if and when that happens, we will continue to talk about your Wolverines. But yeah, make sure you're subscribed. Also follow me on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, at JD PicKell. Let me know what you want to see and how you feel about Bryce Underwood's first start. Okay, so it wasn't like it's going to be the filter that you will have when it gets to Big Ten play. Like, let's just be adults. It was New Mexico. There's not, the competition level he's going to see down the road from Bryce Underwood. So we don't want to just say, wow, crown the guy right now, because that's a little bit dangerous here in today's modern culture when it comes to the social media age. But he never looked overwhelmed playing college football for the first time in a spot where, quite frankly, he could have looked overwhelmed. Like, say what you want about the talent level of a New Mexico, which we established already at the top isn't going to be top tier. It's still a college football team, still a bunch of dudes on scholarship. If the game was a little bit sped up for him, that would have been understandable. I didn't get that sense watching him play. Numbers don't tell the whole story, but I think they're a good gauge here for his performance. 21 of 31, 8 yards a pass. More on that in a second. 251 yards through the air. That is the difference for Bryce Underwood and what you've had previously at Michigan over the course of the last really just last year. J.J. McCarthy was awesome. Let's not pretend. You averaged last year 129 yards passing per game. Bryce Underwood darn near doubled that. All right. Last year, in your two biggest wins, you accounted for less than 200 yards passing. Again, Bryce Underwood in one game did more than that. So this is the forward pass. You've seen it before. I told you saw it when J.J. McCarthy was there. Kind of like an old friend, though. You haven't seen him in some time, but when you see him again, you pick up right where you left off. That was Michigan's offense in this spot. Now, I keep giving the context and the precursor of it was New Mexico. It was this, it was that. There was a drive, though. End of the first half, minute 31 on the clock, ball on the 21-yard line coming out, and you got to see Bryce Underwood in this Michigan offense open it up a little bit more with some sense of urgency and just get, quite frankly, a great rep, call it what it was, for Michigan to have some real urgency and get an end of half scenario against a lower stakes opponent. He was out there just target practice, man. I mean, just all the different throws. That was the thing to me. Like, it felt like a buffet just watching this dude ball. Oh, cool. We have a touch pass. Awesome. We can drop it in the bucket to a tight end. Oh, we got this one ball, just a line drive in a window of sorts, not the tightest window, but a window nonetheless. Like, we got some real different pitches we could throw. There's different speeds you can put on the football. This is not just a dude who's got a rocket for an arm and throws it as hard as he possibly can every single snap. No knock on Joe Milton. Like, this dude can legitimately put some touch on the football. And to have that in the bag and him to be a true freshman, that excites me because it's only going to get better. Now, the competition will only get better, make no mistake about it. But I think the arm talent and the ability he has in 11-on-11 football, what you saw, that's going to progress, and that should get you fired up if you're a Michigan fan. It gets me fired up as a college football fan. But going back to the drive, leads them down, throws a touchdown pass to end the half, and I was like, okay, all right, this guy's he's not looking at any level rattled or like the game's too fast. Like, Bryce Underwood's going to be really, really good at some point in time. Now, I think there's also something to be said for what's made Michigan so great over the course of really the last like 5-ish years, even since Jim Harbaugh was there. What is it? Culture, maybe another way to say it is buy-in. Okay, like, you think about J.J. McCarthy, we got to run it double-digit times in a row against Penn State to get a win, and it kind of, if you remember correctly, kind of torpedoes his Heisman candidacy. Cool, let's get a win. I don't care. Like, It's all about the team. I'm bought in. Bryce Underwood, all the conversation around, well, he's getting this many dollars in NIL, and he flipped from LSU, and it's a new era of Michigan recruiting. I think it's fair if you're a Michigan fan from a 30,000-foot view to say, well, how does that culture save, if you will, in the NIL era? How does it save when maybe there's a little bit more coming these kids' way on the recruiting side of things, when we're a program that's really prided ourselves on doing more with less and getting good raw ingredients and getting great players. Now we're getting better raw ingredients. There was a play in I think it was first quarter, or if it wasn't first quarter, it was first half. Michigan runs a drop, or not a drop play, runs an outside run play to the left pylon when you're watching on television. Bounces outside. I think it's Justice Haynes. And there's a situation where Bryce Underwood is between himself, or Justice Haynes, and the defender. And Bryce Underwood just drops this DB with his shoulder. On one hand, I'm like, hey, chill out. We're paying you a lot of money. I don't know if I want you throwing that shoulder around in this kind of a spot where Justice Haynes probably scores either way. On the other side, I was like, that's a Michigan football player. That's edge. That's buy-in. That's physicality. If your quarterback's out here throwing blocks and dropping DBs with his shoulder, guess what? Everybody else is bringing that same level of physicality and intensity. It was already kind of the Michigan standard, but Bryce Underwood doing that tells me everything I need to know about how bought in he is to the Michigan way of doing things, Sherrone Moore's culture, all of that. Through and through, he's fully drinking the tea. So make no mistake about that. Nice part about this too, my second favorite stat from today, outside of the passing numbers I just told you about, Bryce Underwood, -5 rushing yards. Dude, that's your second favorite stat. I mean, -5 rushing yards. You talked so much about how this guy's a great athlete, a great runner, and to have him -5 rushing yards, you like that? I love that. Why? Because you now have the luxury of saving the entire design Bryce Underwood run game for the Oklahoma game next week. That's huge. I mean, Michigan, I'm sure, will have some stuff that Oklahoma tries to prep for based on Chip Lindsey's previous stops. But at the end of the day, when Bryce Underwood runs Q power, it's going to look very different than any other player that's ever run Q power for Chip Lindsey, or when he's coming off the read option. Like there's no way to know exactly what it's going to be. And guess what? It's not on film. It's not. So Oklahoma now will have to guess at it. And if you're guessing during game week, guess what? Advantage the team that you're trying to guess for, with the quarterback that's freakishly large, freakishly athletic, and has a bazooka for an arm and can also tuck it and run. So that little element of surprise, advantage Michigan. And I can't wait for that game. That's going to be a lot of fun. If you want our full preview, prediction, and breakdown for that game, that's coming this week on the show. So make sure you're subscribed. Do predictions on Tuesday. But man, college football is back. New era is here for Michigan football with Bryce Underwood now running the show at quarterback. And, man, fun times. Fun to see. Appreciate y'all making this show what it is. Usually in the studio. Right now we're on the road, though, in a Miami hotel room. Everything you see here set up by our very own Caden Smith. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. We will keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.